advertisement. No, this is a different hymn, actually.
Do you want to keep it in this corner because it's in the center?
Put it there. Put it there.
Then the head will not listen. We'll see people listening to it.
निखिल भुवन जन्म स्थेम भंग प्रलोभा अकलित महिमान कल्पिता यत्र तस्मिन् सुविमल गगनाभे त्वीश संस्थेऽप्यनीशे मम भवतु भवेऽस्मिन् भासुरो भावबन्धः मम भवतु भवेऽस्मिन् भासुरो भावबन्धः निहत निखिल मोहे धीशता यत्र रूढा प्रकटित परप्रेम्णा यो महादेव सङ्गः अशिथिल परिरम्भ प्रेम रूपस्य यस्य हृदि प्रलयति विश्वं व्याजमात्रं विभुत्वं हृदि प्रलयति विश्वं व्याजमात्रं विभुत्वम् बहति विपुलवाता पूर्वसंस्काररूपः विदलति वलवृन्दं घूर्णिदेवोर्मिमाला प्रचलति खलु योगमं युष्मदस्मत्प्रतीतम् अतिविकलितरूपं नौमि चित्तं शिवस्थम् अतिविकलितरूपं नौमि चित्तं शिवस्थम् दुरितदलनदक्षं दक्षजादत्तदोषम् कलिकलङ्कं काम्रकल्हारकान्तं परहितकरणाय प्राणप्रच्छेदप्रीतं नतनयननियुक्तं नीलकण्ठं नमामः नतनयननियुक्तं नीलकण्ठं नमामः
नयननियुक्तं नीलकण्ठं नमामः. Very profound hymn by Swami Vivekananda. and we shall try to discuss a little bit of it uh, very briefly, because we have just 1 hour, and in fact if you go a little deep, then each stanza will take 1 hour to discuss or more. So, but we shall look into the outline of what is being said, how Swami Vivekananda is looking at this Shiva, who himself is Shiva, like you chanted that wonderful hymn on Vivekananda, Murta Maheshwara. So he is the Shiva himself. And since Shivaratri is approaching, I thought let us discuss the nature of Shiva as Swami Vivekananda, as it were Shiva himself is discussing it. So it is this is in this book on this poems of Swami Vivekananda.
Shrotam is hymn.
Stotra means hymn, yeah. Stotra. This idea of Shiva is where everything, the whole universe as it were, is condensed. And another meaning associated with the word Shiva is auspiciousness. It is auspicious. So the auspiciousness that we all seek in life, the peace that we seek in life, the tranquility that we want in life, all comes when we transcend the superficial appearance. There is no religion unless we learn to transcend the superficial appearance. This appearance that we get deluded by, it comes and goes. And trying to catch it for happiness lands us in more and more misery. There is thus every wise person can easily see this, that the way is to transcend the appearance. Even in all common things, that we need to transcend the appearance to get at the essence of the things, to the truth of the things. And the happiness also comes in life to the extent we are able to transcend this superficial appearance. What is on the surface, it is it invites us. But if we are stuck there, we do not get the essence and thus miss the happiness. It is like, holding, say, a banana. And if you do not peel the banana, what do you get? Nothing practically. Even if you keep on licking the skin for a long time, it will not bring you any substance or the taste of banana. What do you do like that, this little girl? Hey, what do you do when you are given a banana? You keep on licking? What do you do? Don't you peel the skin? Exactly, yeah. That is transcendence, This is transcendence. Don't get scared by the word transcendence. Do not please get scared by the word renunciation. Renunciation means giving up the appearance and holding on to the essence, the kernel, the truth that really has what we are looking for. That is why we get deluded. It is. So, only that, like the skin of banana you peel, and then what do you do, dear? Hey, look at me. Ah, After you peel the skin, what do? You start eating the skin? What do you do with the skin? Huh? Speak loudly, dear. I am old man. Huh?
How you eat it? After peeling, you have to eat it.
Eat the skin. What do you do with the skin? Huh?
After peeling, what you are doing? After peeling, eat it.
Huh?
Eat it.
No, you don't eat the skin. The skin is peeled off, and what do you do with the skin? Don't you throw it in the garbage? Huh? Hey, that is called renunciation. Renunciation is that after you peel this appearance, peel the appearance, discard it. Simple. We all have to do that to get at the essence, the truth. It is nothing to be scared of this idea, renunciation. It is like discarding the trash, discarding the garbage. We don't, we are not required to give up the essence. That essence is Shiva. That essence is called Shiva. So, this great hymn begins by, imagine, Shiva himself in the form of Vivekananda is discussing this, that Nikhila Bhuvana Janma Sthima Bhanga Praroha. It is this, all the appearance, its origination, its stay, its sustenance and its dissolution, sthema, bhanga, praroha, all are in that Shiva. It is the appearance on that. It is the superficial changing appearance that is happening where? What is the essence of it? That is this, what is called Shiva. Since our sight, our mind is deluded by this superficial appearance, we are not able to see this nature of Shiva. It is just like the same example. If you are seeing the skin, then you are not seeing the essence of banana. It is so what appears on the surface. We get stuck in that and thus suffer. That is the constant thing in this universe, coming and going and suffering. It is, one Swami had told that when somebody gets married and gets 3 rings. 3 rings, no, there are 2 rings we know about. There is an engagement ring and a wedding ring. And the Swami said, 3rd is suffering. So it is, these 2 rings and the 3rd ring is called suffering. So it is, the point is, whether you get married or not is not the question here, But Akalita Mahimanaha, let me read actually the translation itself. It's a very poetic translation that it is. Uh, Salutations to Shiva, whose glory is immeasurable, who resembles sky in clearness, to whom are attributed the phenomena of ending him. None transcends that, because that is the ultimate truth. And so there is no possibility of something that is going to be beyond that. It is thus as tremendous is the greatness of Shiva that the whole creation, sustenance and dissolution is happening right there. It is this
Can you take this there?
All the way over there.
this movie of the universe, as it were, is played on that. It is what's happening here.
They can't really hear you.
Oh, okay, yeah, this has to have a microphone plugged into that.
Yeah, there is a microphone.
Okay. So, uh, the movie begins. Before the beginning of the movie, if you go to the theater, before the movie is beginning, is yet to begin, what do you see there? Don't you see just the screen? You see the screen. Then the movie begins. Things are moving. That is why it is called movie, you know. It is. You see so many events happening, people coming, going, and so forth. So, and the movie is over. Then what do you see after that? What is there? Screen is left. And actually, even when you are seeing the movie, you were actually seeing the screen only. There was one little girl once, when I was in Shillong, this incident happened, that she was asking her mother that I want a chocolate. Come on, let's go. I want a chocolate. The mother was saying, no, hey, not now. It is, and because the mother was talking to me about something, and then, but there was a TV there in the office, and then there was an ad of some candy. I forgot what it was. Then I told that little girl, don't you see it? You take it from there, you know. But the girl was wise, although little girl was wise. No, there is no candy. She has seen TV, picture of candy on TV. So she was not going to get deluded by that. And she was not going to go and grab it. What would she touch if she goes and grabs it? She will touch only the TV screen. She won't get candy. So she knew that. And so she was not budging from her place. So this, only screen is there really. And there is no candy. It is, therefore the screen just remains there. Nothing happens to it. Even if you see a fire in the movie, what happens? The screen remains as it is. It doesn't get burned. So, this is the Shiva that does not change while this whole movie of the world is going on it. It is the screen, that Shiva, that unchanging thing, that alone is real. When we understand this, then uh, we know where to look for happiness. Mm. There is no happiness in these forms that we see. This is the truth, friends. And we keep on trying to get happiness out of these, but we are sure to fail. If you go on trying to, get candy from that TV screen, after how many attempts will you get the candy from the screen? Huh? Will you get any time? You won't get at all. It is because there is no, it appears. So all these forms appear. So where from they appear? What is the source of their appearance? Shiva. That is called Shiva, the God. From that it appears. It is there that it is kept, and means it is sustained there. Even when you are seeing something, some form, actually there is nothing but Shiva. And so that is how everything is contained in that Shiva. And so Swami Vivekananda says that let my attraction be to that. That is the prayer. Let my attachment be to that God Shiva, not on the changing forms, because the changing forms are not real. What is the use of running after something that is not real? Let me instead turn my devotion, my attention to that which is real. That is Shiva. So he says, let the devotion of my heart be towards this Shiva, who is, he says, Suvimala Gaganabhe Isha Samstepyanishe. Shiva governs everything, but there is no other governor of Shiva, Anisha. That it is, there is no governor of Shiva. So he is called here Anisha. So it is the Lord of all, and let my heart's devotion go to him. Why is the prayer, let me go, let my heart's devotion be to him? You need to pray for something which automatically doesn't happen. You don't have to keep on praying, let sun rise today. Well, it is automatic. Will you have to pray that may tomorrow be Sunday? By the virtue of today being Saturday, it's automatically going to be Sunday tomorrow. You don't have to pray, oh Thakur, please make it tomorrow be Sunday. No, it is no need to do that. And it is, even if the children pray, they want one more extra holiday, still it won't happen. Even if you pray tomorrow, let there be Sunday tomorrow also, that is not going to happen. No use praying for something that is already going to happen, or something for something that is never going to happen. So prayer is where you want something, but you are not actually, it may happen, may not happen, very likely that it may not happen. And therefore you are praying, oh please let it happen. Prayer is, there has to be yearning, earnestness in the prayer. And then only it is prayer. You know Sri Ramakrishna's that wonderful story, that how yearning in the prayer makes the prayer effective. There was a man whose little son was down with terrible fever, and it was thought that he is not likely to survive. Uh, but some mendicant came there and said, okay, there is medicine for it, but you have to, give it a try. There has to be the time of Swati Nakshatra, that constellation called Swati. So at that constellation, the rain must fall, and then you have to go uh, to get a human skull in a cremation ground. Go and get a human skull. Then let that raindrops from that Swati Nakshatra fall there. Then you go ahead, you have to find a little frog, a frog being chased by this snake. Frogs get eaten by the snakes, this. So the snake was trying to catch the prey. Now the frog leaps. The moment the snake thought that the frog is in its reach, the snake jumps to catch the frog. The frog leaps and escapes, but the poison from that snake would just come out, and you should catch that poison in that Swati's reigns already in that human skull. Catch that, and at that time suddenly the moon should come out. The clouds would go, moon comes out, and then the light of moon should fall on that, and then that becomes the medicine which will cure this little boy. Now, how many things were really, what possibility would you give, how much per these days they tell, 10% chance of rain or what, how they determine 10% or 12%, who knows. But they give the possibility. So how much possibility, probability, how much probability will you give for this? Almost nothing. All these things have to come together. Almost no probability. But no probability doesn't mean no possibility. Possibility is there. Probability is very, very low. It is said that there is a probability that if you bang your head on the wall, you can come out. Because there is this, the atoms are all moving, molecules are moving, and so there would be a faintest possibility that at some time there will be a hole that you can pass through. It is all hollow. The whole universe is really mostly hollow. Mostly it is just empty space. So there is a chance that you will be able to go through that wall, but then that probability is very small. So possibility is there. Probability is very small. So there he started praying, oh God, because why there is the yearning, wants to save his dear, dear son. And so starts praying, oh God, wow, it is one thing at least is there right now, it is the Swati constellation. So let me go. And he ran, there were clouds, and then he ran to the cremation ground, looked for a human skull. Lord, please, 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 oh God, make me find this human skull, praying. Because this is not by his will that it will happen, it is the blessings of God. The probability that he would find the skull, well, he found. Thank you, God, you are so great. Now let the drops of the rain, Swati rain, would fall on this. And then please, please God, and then the raindrops came, and then he got it. Now said, so many things, God, although improbable, by your grace, you have made it come all together. Now, please, next things also, please, please, please. My son is sick, I want to make him well, and this is the medicine, please do that. And then he saw suddenly, yeah, there is this frog. Where is the snake? Yeah, there is the snake. And then, well, the poison of the snake fell in that human skull. Wow, Lord. And then he saw, wow, the moon, the cloud has moved away, the moon is shining, and thus now he got his medicine ready. Come there, drink it. See, it appears, it is very improbable, but each of you, you can look at your past life and you will see many, many improbable things have happened in your life. Some sudden occurrence, something that you had not even thought of happened, and that made you do like this. It is, one incident was narrated to me, just to tell you the yearning. It is that certain things that you had not planned for just happened. It is my dentist, in Providence there. So she told how I became a dentist. I had no interest in learning science or going into medical practices and all that. But then she was in Mumbai then, and then there was, if you go straight, there was the arts college. And then if you turn, there is the Science Elphiston College, if you turn left, both near that similar area. Now, when they were going in the taxi, there was the red light, but you could turn left. So her mom was with her. She said, why not? Anyway, this is a long line, we'll have to wait here. And so by that time, let us go left. And then that brought her to the science college, and she got admitted, she became dentist and all that. Now who controlled those lights? She said, had that at that time been the green light, I probably would have done my art graduations. But because there was the red light, she became the dentist. So that is how so many things, everybody's life will have many such stories of coincidences. Improbable, but it happened. So therefore prayer is that pray for the devotion. Because I want it and yet I don't get it. I want the devotion to God, but I am not getting it with enough intensity. So let that devotion come in my life to you, O Lord. So it is a rare thing to get this devotion. निहत निखिल मोहे धीशता यत्र रूढ़ा प्रकटित पर प्रेमणा यो महादेव संज्ञः अशिथिल परिरम्भः प्रेम रूपस्य यस्य प्रणमतिर्दिवेश्वं व्याजमात्रं विभुत्वम्. So, it says that all in whom lordship is ever established by naturally, and naturally he is the Lord, not that through election he has become the ruler. But naturally he is the ruler of this universe. And then that is who causes annihilation of delusion. Moha, that is nihata, nikhila moha. Shiva removes all the moha. So it is, the moha means what? We see that which is impermanent as permanent. These names, forms, our own, this life, what it is impermanent. It comes and goes. We know it here, in our intellect, but it is not in our actual feelings, it is not there. We feel that it is all permanent. Everything will go on as it is. No, it is all impermanent. So let that delusion of considering the impermanent as permanent, let it go away. Let the delusion of considering that which is unreal as real, let that go away. This is called moha. So it is, and then we know the effects of moha. When you see that which is unreal as real and try to take it, you get cheated, you get deceived, you suffer. That is how we suffer in this world. That which is not there, we try to grab it. Like that girl I was telling, grab the candy from the TV. She knew it is not there, so she was not going to do that. But if she thought that it is really there, then she would have jumped at it. So that is what happens. We think that this is all real, and thus suffer. Let this moha, you must have heard these words come together, shoka and moha. This is because of moha. What happens? Shoka, suffering. That is the result of this delusion. So, and then this Lord Shiva, Prakatita Parapremna, that is why he got the term, the name Mahadeva. Why? Because of the tremendous love that comes, that he has expressed by what? By drinking the poison. Every time there is some problem, then Shiva gets pleased very quickly. That is why the one name of Shiva is Ashutosha. Ashutosha means quickly is pleased. you don't have to make too much effort to please Shiva. So Shiva gets pleased quickly, and thus all the love uh, comes there. So he does whatever really will be helpful to you. So and so his has whose most surprising love made manifest has crowned him with the name above all names, the name of Mahadeva, the great God, whose warm embrace of love personified displays within man's heart that all power is but a semblance and a passing show. That his love shows that it is a passing show. So let us develop that love for Shiva.
He is also called Bholanath.
Bholanath, because people take advantage of he gets pleased very quickly. So there are many stories of different demons, like Ravana, for example. Ravana got the boon from whom? From Shiva, but he had worshipped Shiva a lot, and so he got that boon. So Bholanath, so he gave the boon, therefore there is a dialogue between Shiva and Vishnu, that Shiva, you give boons to these demons, and then they start tormenting the world. Then I have to take a human form to get rid of these demons. So it is you create the mess, and then I have to come and restore again this. So that is why he is called Bholanath. So it is. Then the next stanza, that what is this our life? Vahati vipulavaatah purva sanskara rupah pramathati balavrindam ghurnite vorme mala prachalati khalu yugmam yushmadasmat pratitam ati vikalita rupam naumi chetam shivastam. So this is the Shiva that is describing that samsara roop. What is samsara? That it is all the impressions, sanskaras, they are running riot here. Purva sanskar. We are like this, like this, like this. There are all these past impressions. They are crowding and creating this chaos. And how this happens? With this prachalati khalu yugmam, that it is yushmadasmat pratitam. Everything is fraught with this and this duality, I and you, which is the source of all delusion, as it were. This delusion, the most prominent sign of this delusion is this awareness of I and the world, I and mine. As Sri Ramakrishna used to say, this I and the world is the delusion. You never know that where I ends and where the world begins. A little while ago that I drank water, now it was that water, it was not I. After drinking that very water is called I, There is no certainty what is I and what is you. And yet, on this delusional line of separation, all our actions are based, all our life we tend to base on this delusion. And therefore, no wonder that we get cheated. Shankaracharya, in his comment, Brahma Sutra commentary, the first line it begins is like this: Yushmad asmat pratyaya gocharayoho vishaya vishayinoho. That subject and object, I and you, that is how we get deluded in the two, and none of that has any fixed boundary. It is shifting. I becomes you, you becomes I. So therefore there is, this line is not fixed at all. And still taking this division to be real, all our life is based on that. He says that is what is. Naturally people call it living. Naisargikoyam loka vyavhara. Very deep term. Naisargiko. That is how this naturally our whole behavior is based on this unreal division, this fractured division of the reality. There is nothing but one without second, and we are seeing it divided into two. And no wonder then that we get frustrated here, we meet misery, we become, just confused as to what is real, what is not real, what you were trying to hold as real. It slips off your finger because it was not real. Now you were chasing something that I will get there. You started running. What we are running at is, to catch horizon. How long will it take you to catch horizon? How long will you have to run?
Unlimited time.
Never ending.
Never ending project.
It's never ending.
Never ending. Have you ever caught horizon? Have you got to horizon? It is silly, to think that I can reach horizon. That is how our goals in life are. So let us be practical and have a practical goal. And let us strive for that which is. That is practical. Otherwise the goal of reaching horizon is impractical goal, because such a thing is not there. It appears, but it is not there. So let us go towards that which is real, and give up the idea of running after that which is not real. Isn't that practicality? Practicality is, people say, those who are following Vedanta, impractical people. I want to be practical in life. What does it mean, their practicality? Run after that which is unreal. How can that make your life practically a happy life? So the course has to be changed to that which is real. That is what Swamiji says, that this is the Shiva that is free from prachalati khalu yugmam yushmadasmat pratitam, you and I. That is the delusional understanding. One has to go beyond that. So, Ati Vikalita, free on, I salute that mind, unstable, centered in Shiva, the abode of calm. So, my mind is not stable, so I am praying to make it stable and established in Shiva, the God. Let our minds be established, let them be stable and established in God. So, and then this is all subject object here. That is the next verse, that जनक जनित भावो वृत्तयः संस्कृताश्च अगणन बहुरूपो यत्र एको यथार्थः. So, जनक जनित भावो, the cause and effect. This is the cause of it, and then that is the effect. We keep on thinking in these terms. But that effect becomes cause, and then the cause becomes effect. Like the chicken and egg problem, you know. What is the cause? Without a chicken, how can there be egg? So chicken must be the cause. But then without egg, how can there be chicken? This all cause and effect that we get caught in, it is also like that. Janaka janita bhavo. And these turbulent, this causes such turbulence in our mind. And then, although there is one without second, all this turbulence makes us see as many. Many, and then you have the one behind that, like you have the ocean and waves. How many waves? Infinitely many, and they rise and fall. But the ocean is one, and that is real. It does not come and go like the waves go. So, that is Shiva, to get to that truth which is beyond all these apparent names and forms. So, and therefore there is no turbulence there. When you see the ocean, then in the ocean, it is the waves which are turbulent. The ocean is calm. The depth of the ocean, it is calm. So Shiva is calm. The waves of creation, sustenance, dissolution is creating all this turbulence. So that is the nature of a person who is spiritual, that there is all the turbulence outside, but the person is calm inside. There is, because is holding on to that which is calm. We can all look at the life of Vivekananda. How tremendous work he was doing. Constantly moving from one place to another, giving lectures, working hard. And yet the mind was always holding on to God, the Shiva, stable there. There is no instability there. So that is the what Swami Vivekananda always held on to. So outer turbulence, inside the calmness of samadhi. That is how you can think about it. You know that how this outer activity, tremendous activity, and that wouldn't just cause any disturbance within. That is how all of us, we should try to lead our life. He was there is a very beautiful extract of his very short lecture in the complete works. It is probably volume 3, where there is his Indian lectures. So there is a lecture, Sannyasa, its ideal and practice. So there he tells that you all, how you should at one time you should be immersed in meditation. Next moment after the meditation, you should be ready to go and work in these fields. He was giving this lecture at Belur Mutt, where there were not so many buildings then. Only 2 buildings were there. So he said, this is how you should be active, and yet deep within you should be fully established in God, meditative. You should be studying scripture this moment. Next moment you should be just getting up and taking all the produce from the farm and selling it in the market. There is no contradiction between them. Like the waves on the ocean, multiplicity of the waves and the oneness of ocean, there is no contradiction in them. So he says a follower of Sri Ramakrishna should be like that. There should be work externally, but internally one should be established in that oneness, that God. So,
What in volume 3, what is the name of the lecture you are talking about?
you have to see whether it is in volume 3 or not. I guess it is the Colombo to Almora, his Indian lectures, and the title of the lecture is Sannyasa, its ideal and practice.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, and then, just as there is I and you, there is another fictitious division that we get carried away by, in and out. Actually, there is, in truth, this is also division, inside and outside. Now, for example, before I speak out, the words are inside, and then they go outside. There is really nothing like inside and outside. We make these divisions. So, therefore, this division is eliminated in Shiva. So he says, na antar bahishcha. So, I worship that Shiva with holding on or controlling all the vibrations of mind, and then says that look at now my time is over, but I will continue for another 5-10 minutes, and then you can, if you want, you can ask a few questions. But anyway, so this is, I will read only the translation since we are running out of time, that it is from whom all gloom and darkness have dispersed, that radiant light, white, beautiful. That is the nature of that illumination. It is not imported from somewhere. It is not coming from somebody else, not borrowed. It is like the light on the earth we borrow from sun. Sun sheds light on it. And therefore we have night and day. That is when we are not turned towards the sun, our part is dark, the other part of earth has day. So when we have day here, there is night in Australia, and so forth, So we have day and night, light and darkness. Can you imagine day and night on sun? It is always luminous, so luminous that we cannot even approach that. So that is the illumination of God. So we say that in our arati, that illumines everything, but nothing can illumine that. Uh, Namo Namo Prabhu Vakya Manatit Manovachanaika Adhar Jyotir Jyoti Ujala Ridi Kandar Tumitama Bhanjanahar. You are Jyoti of all Jyotis, the light of all lights. So Shubhrati Jab Prakashah Dhavala Kamal Shobha Jnana Punjattahasa, that it is your that laugh, loud laugh, that is called attahasa. That is it just manifests all the knowledge in you that comes out as you laugh. So, and who get it? Who can feel it? Yami jana hridigamya. That who by undivided meditation they realize it. They alone can realize it. So therefore we have to learn to control. Yami jana means, yama means control. All the propensities in our mind, we have to see that they are controlled. Only the right, good, devotional propensities should be given this scope. All other propensities should be stopped. That is, that they just fritter away our energies, and therefore they have to be eliminated. That is how we use energy, like when you have, say, boiler, and then the steam is to be directed to get some work done, like, say, the steam engine. These days you don't have much steam engines, but then the whole huge train with thousands of tons of load would be pushed by that steam. If it is controlled, if the steam is going out from here and there, no force is left there. So only those thoughts should be given expression which are taking us to God. All other thoughts have to be controlled. So with efforts we can do this. There is the effort involved in all these things. So let our efforts be directed. That is why he ends saying that, oh, let me salute you, do pranamatu mam manasu rajhamsaha. That very beautiful way he has described. May that lovely swan of the limpid lake of my mind guard me, prostrate before him. Hamsa is the symbol of this self, that it is, let that self guide me. You read it in the emblem, Ramakrishna Mission's emblem. What is written at the bottom? Anybody has read it? Tanno Hamsa Prachodayat. That Hamsa, that this self, that is, Shiva is our true self. So let that illumine me. So my prostrations to that. And then he says in the last verse, how compassionate you are. There is this story when the ocean was being churned, the poison came out. And the poison was making the life of people on the earth hell. everybody was getting scorched and tormented by it. Now who is going to, handle this terrible poison? Eh, all were scared. All so-called celestial beings and devas. No, no, no! Shiva drank the whole poison to save the world. Ah, So, but he was so powerful only, he kept it in his throat, so the throat became blue complexion. Therefore, another name of Shiva is Neelakantha. So, that is how Swami Vivekananda ends this, that is how we have to do this service of Shiva, seeing them in jivas. That is the Shiva, living Shiva in all. So that is how this great hymn concludes that Natanayana Niyuktam Neelakantam Namamaha. That this is how Swami Vivekananda felt about this Shiva. He has composed hymns on Shiva and Divine Mother. He has not composed hymns on any other deity as such. No hymn to Vishnu, no hymn to Ganesha, because this was the dominant nature of Swami Vivekananda, embodiment of Shiva. There are other two nice songs of Shiva composed by Vivekananda. One is just very similar, Hara 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 Bhutanath. And then another is that it is Tathaya Tathaya Nache Bola. So they bring out the essence of the spirit of Shiva. So I have discussed today with the grace of Swami Vivekananda a few things connected with this hymn. So I salute Vivekananda and conclude my talk. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask. Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharine. Yes, please.
Enjoyed your talk thoroughly.
Please speak a little loudly.
Enjoyed your talk thoroughly.
Thank
As
you,
usual,
thank you.
when you gave the last talk here on energy and Vishnu, Atman, Brahman. Now, until and unless we see Paramatma, everybody is having that Atman, presence of Brahman. We will always say I and you. So Advaita approach, if we take, we can find the unity amongst us. There
Yes.
is no difference. Let me complete it, because I'll be asking only one question here. And then we need to get rid of as soon as we realize Paramatma, through the Advaita situation, we can get rid of our moha. Moha comes from the Maya. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Jnanamaya, all of these things are holding us. We need to get rid of that Maya. Once we get rid of that Maya, we come to the Ananda situation. Satchitananda we realize. So we don't have any worries, no anxiety all the time. We have that Ananda. This is what I think. That energy, then we can realize which he taught us in the last talk.
Well, that is fine, you know. There is nothing for me to comment on that. Very good.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Swami, if there's no question, then Anita is here to sing one song. Anita, she's
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
she will sing one song.
If there is no question, then she. No, somebody has a question there. Please ask. Please come forward. I should be able to hear, you know.
Do you want to come forward?
Okay. So, Swamiji Namaste. Thank you for the wonderful talk. So, as we're discussing this Advaita, so once we realize, once somebody realizes through this Advaitic way that everything is one. Now, there are other ways also, Dvaita, Vishishta Advaita. When one realizes through those routes, do they not realize the same oneness?
Well, the route and destination, they are different things, you know. The Advaita is not a route as such. When we say that it is the oneness, that is the Advaita as destination. Advaita as practice is different from Vishishtadvaita and Dvaita. But these three practices, when they are concluded, then they reach the same destination which cannot be described. It is there the Advaita is the destination Advaita. And Advaita as a practice, very rarely somebody is qualified to undertake it. In practice, yes, there is the dualism. But see, the dualism means what? I and my God, the two. And the devotee wants to come closer and closer to God. How close can you come? When there is no distance left between you and God. So it becomes, in essence, at the end, it also becomes non-dual.
But that system, they don't recognize that. They say the difference
You don't
remains.
need to recognize it, you know. It is, see, not recognizing does not, because recognizing is not necessary there. It is, let us be practical, let us worship our God. Then what happens that let the God decide. Even the name, why they give the name like Advaita, not necessary to give even that name. It is, so they don't worry about it. It is, see, some people when they are driving somewhere, they put on GPS. Now some people go exactly as GPS is telling, go when GPS that announce, take left turn here, take this here, and they keep on going accordingly, they don't worry. There are some who want to, you know, see the directions while it is happening. So, now they want to see how it is going to the destination. So, that is, there are two different approaches. Not that one is right, another is wrong. Two different mindsets. So, there are, therefore, like the Vishishtadvaita is, although called Vishishtadvaita, it is Dvaita itself. It is Dvaita and Advaita, where there is absence of duality. So, it is both as paths, both are valid. As a destination, again, the destination is beyond description. So, whatever you want to call, that will not really be the proper description at all. So let us not worry whether it is uh, to be called Advaita or Vishishta Advaita or Dvaita, forget about it. We will park the car when the GPS announces you have arrived. That's it, instead of bothering our head about it. So, these parts are classified into these three. And then for centuries, people quarreled over these. Sri Ramakrishna, and of course from him Swami Vivekananda, Holy Mother, they harmonized these. That they three are all are very good. Whether you say I am divine or I am servant of divine, both are fine, In fact, it refers to actually what you are calling as I am servant of God. So, that Sri Ramakrishna used to quote from that Hanuman. That Hanuman saying is the best. That Deha Buddhya tu daso ham. When I think of myself as body, like when I say, today I came from Providence to North Carolina. Now what came? I am referring to this as body, isn't it? I am Baba. Actually, I didn't go anywhere. The body got into the aircraft and came here and so forth. So at that time, as body, what is it? As body, we are servant. And we are just controlled by divine. There is no choice, It is just like, when I was sitting in the plane and then the plane was getting a few minutes delayed because something there was problem in Providence. It was very cold there, When I started, it was about 25. So, all ice, the planes, that all the wings were having lot of ice. So they had to first de-ice it. And then, so it took some time. Now, what can I do sitting in the aircraft? Can I push the plane to go it faster? As a child, I used to go in the train, Oh, it is not going fast enough. So I used to push the window rails. Hey, go faster. That doesn't make it go fast. We are controlled completely by the divine as body. There is no control with us. Absolutely no control. So Hanuman says, Rama asked him the question that how do you look upon me, Hanuman? And this wise devotee described that when I think of myself, I am the servant, you are the master. I am the controlled, you are the controller. There is no getting away from this fact. Whether you call yourself dualist or non-dualist, if you think of yourself as a particular piece of flesh, blood and all that, then you are controlled. There is this inherent dualism there. Jiva buddhya tvadanshakaha. When I consider myself as an individual, a jiva, then you are the whole, I am the part. Tvadanshakaha, I am your part, ansha. And when I think of myself as Atma Buddhya, the self, Atma Buddhya, now there is no difference. Atma Buddhya Tvamevaham iti me nishchita mati. There is no better way of understanding and resolving than, to my knowledge, than this very beautiful harmonizing verse given. And this is distributed in all scriptures exactly in similar ways. But still, people like to quarrel, my opinion is true. Sri Ramakrishna, in Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, so many places you find it. My opinion is true. There is no regard to truth there, regard to me, ahankara, my ego, that takes precedence. And so I say, my opinion, you don't know who am I? I am this Swami Yogatmananda, my opinion is silly foolishness, It is not that. So, this is all the different opinions, they have their value because they are all different ways of looking at God. All are the views about God, and therefore all are your reading of that is correct. So, you wanted to ask something?
Shivanand,
You wanted to ask something?
Yeah, so one of the devotees watching through YouTube, he
Yes.
asked a question.
Yes.
His name is Charles Feldman,
Yes.
and he said that he gave up a political meeting to attend this talk which you are
Okay.
giving right now,
Yes.
but he has a earning to know what happened there in the political meeting. So his question is, how can he give up that earning?
Okay, it is very good. Somebody has give up a political meeting. Charles Feldman is a very regular devotee at Providence, and asks very nice questions. So it is we give up something, but giving up something and giving up the longing for it are not the same thing, giving up the longing, you have to go further than that, because even if we decide to give up some enjoyment, but yet there is some attraction remains. So that how that will go away? By seeing that what he would have gotten at that political meeting and what he has gotten by not attending it, substituting it by attending this lecture. Compare what is worth, what is more important in life. So, you have to see what is more important in life. So, initially, what we are attached to, that thing appears to be very important. But then, when we get the taste of something better, then gradually that attraction goes away. What has happened is there are the impressions, So those impressions have to be removed, and one has to work on that. Like these impressions are like the weeds that come up in the garden. Now those seeds are there, so whenever they get scope, those weeds, they come up. So you have to keep on weeding it out. So whenever such ideas come, I probably missed that political meeting, what happened there, you may have that yearning that will go when the mind will completely turn towards God. Then that yearning will go away. This happens, it is, you all must have seen this happening in life when you were in high school, then you moved to some other place, your friends and all, you don't have much contact with them, but you wanted to know, where they are now, what are they doing. In the initial stages, first year or two, you are very intent on doing that. Then gradually your life goes in another direction, their life goes in another direction, You don't keep daily track of all those things. So your mind gets weaned away from those things. Because now you have moved in this direction. So similarly, when one moves in this direction of spiritual development, then all those political attractions, all the worldly other worldly attractions, they all go away. That is the way to handle it. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so Anita,
We have to sing there.
Yeah, Anita, go ahead. say it.
5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
you want this?
It's okay. Hall is very small. Then we- simple song only.
She doesn't need it. That's okay. She doesn't need it.
Deepak is there. Sneha is also here. Deepak is sitting there.
Oh, okay.
पेटी मैच नहीं होती मुझको गुरु सूर्य है चंद्र गुरु है गुरु ही पूर्ण प्रकाश गुरु सूर्य है चंद्र गुरु है गुरु ही पूर्ण प्रकाश गुरु के सत्संग में मिलता है जीतन मन को उल्लास गुरु के चरणों में मिलता है तन मन को उल्लास गुरु सूर्य है चंद्र गुरु है गुरु ही पूर्ण प्रकाश गुरु फूल है गुरु है उपवन गुरु ही अगर सुवास गुरु फूल है गुरु है उपवन गुरु ही अगर सुवास गुरु के सत्संग में मिलता है तन मन को उल्लास गुरु के सत्संग में मिलता है तन मन को उल्लास गुरु नीर है, गुरु है नदिया, गुरु सागर है विशाल। गुरु नीर है, गुरु है नदिया, गुरु सागर है विशाल। गुरुवाणी की लहर से जीवन बन जाता है मिसाल। गुरुवाणी की लहर से जीवन बन जाता है मिसाल। गुरु सूर्य है, चंद्र गुरु है, गुरु ही पूर्ण प्रकाश। गुरु है माता पिता, गुरु है गुरु सखा साक्षात। गुरु है माता पिता, गुरु है गुरु सखा साक्षात। गुरु है माता पिता, गुरु है गुरु सखा साक्षात। जीवन की मुश्किल राहों में, जीवन की मुश्किल राहों में, वो ही पकड़ता हाथ। गुरु सूर्य है, चंद्र गुरु है, गुरु ही पूर्ण प्रकाश। गुरु के चरणों में मिलता है तन मन को उल्लास। गुरु के चरणों में गुरु के चरणों में मिलता है तन मन को उल्लास। गुरु सूर्य है, चंद्र गुरु है, गुरु ही पूर्ण प्रकाश। गुरु ही पूर्ण प्रकाश।
That one is switch off now. Thank you. Thank you, Swami. You were a very good talk.